Carolina, Congressman Mark Walker. Congressman Walker, it really seems as though there's a real war, if you would, on capitalism right now. And if it's successful, it's going to punish the very people, am I right, that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders allegedly want to help.
Oh, you're exactly right. And thanks for allowing me to be with you this evening. We're here obviously with the president and talking about some of these exact issues. A lot of times we hear Elizabeth Warren's attack on Wall Street, but this is an attack on Americans. In fact, if Elizabeth Warren were ever elected president, the economy would fall faster than Joe Biden's recent poll numbers. This is something that needs to be exposed to the American people.
You know, if she were to win, if Bernie Sanders were to win, I mean, Joe Biden's talking about a lot of populist-style plans that would raise taxes on the working class as well. But what I don't get is, you know, you can just be a student of history or be a student of current events. You go around the world. We have a story coming up on Argentina later in the show tonight because it's spiraling out of control because some people are worried that socialism is going to kick in there. You look at Venezuela and what socialism has done to that economy. What, sure. Don't they get it? I mean, don't they pay attention, or are they so concerned about votes that they think they can sell this victim idea to all of America and that Americans are dumb enough to buy it?
Well, part of the reason that Elizabeth Warren has been getting traction lately is because of her policy chops. She's very skilled at that, but in the words of Nick Saban, it's still rat poison. And that is something that you have to make sure that we're monitoring. The American people do understand. Just because it sounds a little bit more appealing, what she's proposing is death to some of these economies. Think about the community banks. These are the people that are working. The amount of regulations and compliance issues that they would have to endure may allow them to sustain or even survive.
I'm really kind of worried. I mean, I think that things have gotten so crazy, Congressman, and the left has gotten so emboldened by this idea of, you know, they're going to take back this economy. Take it back from who? From the very people that built it?
Well, listen to this, and it's not like the numbers aren't coming back that are incredible. 1.4 million Americans came out of poverty just last year. 6.2 million have come off of food stamps. What kind of metric or data point do we need to say the economy is going in the right direction, and you're actually going to consider somebody that would take away the retirements of school teachers, policemen, firemen? This is ludicrous to even consider. We've got to do our job of messaging just what an Elizabeth Warren presidency would look like.
Well, you know, we'd be heading, I think, on a path very much like the one Venezuela's in now. Now, the president's talking behind you. What are some of the highlights from what he's been saying there this evening? Tell us.
Never, ever.
Yes, we just met for about an hour with some of our members as well as some of our leadership team, talking about specifically laying out what it looks like to win back the House, but also to make sure that Donald Trump gets elected for 4 more years. We've talked about some of the policy side, but we've also talked about some of the political things that we need to be working on as well.
And those are?
Well, specifically, we talked about, number one, that the great vast bulk of Americans are against abolishing ICE. They're against just the open borders, something that Elizabeth Warren even advocates for, even to the place of having no paperwork. You're talking about tens of thousands of illegals that have already been convicted as felons. We also talked about the desire of Americans to see that babies who survived a botched abortion would be able to sustain its life. These are 2 or 3 different items that we've got to continue to let the American people know the difference between the progressive radical socialism Democrats and between Republicans today.
Yeah, he's got a big banner there flying over the Democrat debate tonight, talking about socialism. Do we have a picture of it that we can show the viewer? We're gonna show you that in just a minute. But that's really what it's. I think it's a question of, are you a capitalist or are you a socialist? And I think, given the values that this country was founded on, that's a pretty easy question for people to answer. There it is. Take a peek.
It's a question of individual liberty or allowing the government to make every decision that you could ever want to make in life. That's the 2 choices you have.
It's going to come down to that. Congressman Walker, thank you very much. It's good to see you.